Okay, so we're talking about the four preparations: accumulation of merit, purification, making offerings to the Dharma protectors, and making offerings to various other living beings. And so, regarding accumulating merit, it's things like making prostrations to the Buddha, reciting their name, making offerings, and things like that, taking the 8 Mahayana precepts like we're doing today. And it also includes meditating on the 2 bodhicittas. So conventional bodhicitta, the altruistic intention, and ultimate bodhicitta, the wisdom realizing emptiness. And along that line, when you're meditating on bodhicitta, you're really trying to get rid of the self-centered thought. So you generate thoughts such as, if it's beneficial for all sentient beings, may I have a long life, but if it's not beneficial for sentient beings, may I die soon. That's a heavy one, isn't it? But really thinking and really putting everything in the perspective of what is of the greatest benefit for all other living beings, and only wanting that, even if it goes against, our own grasping, our own self-centeredness, and so on. Because hopefully we keep seeing again and again that self-centeredness is our own enemy. Okay? But it takes something to think that thought or to pray like that, doesn't it? But they talk about the great bodhisattvas, and they'll make prayers like, if it's more beneficial for sentient beings, may I fall ill, or if it's more beneficial for sentient beings, may I be well. If it's more beneficial for sentient beings, may I have tons of difficulties and problems. If it's more beneficial for sentient beings, may things go well, or go easily. And so really training the mind in that way, as a way of, getting rid of this incredible clinging and attachment that we have to what we consider comfortable and good and the right way to do it. Yeah. So I was thinking, we're trying to build Chenrezig Hall, and we should really think like that. If it does not benefit sentient beings, may it not happen. Which is actually true, isn't it? There's no reason to build a building if sentient beings aren't going to benefit from it. Yeah? And on the other hand, if it's something that's going to benefit sentient beings, may all the causes and conditions come about, and may we be able to build it. Okay? And so if we pray like that, then it really loosens our mind, doesn't it? Then it isn't like, oh, we got to build this building. Why? Because, we determined we were going to build it. Well, no, we have to come back to the motivation. What's the motivation? The benefit of sentient beings. Yeah? And so doing that with everything we do, if it's beneficial for sentient beings, may I study, may I go on retreat. If it's not beneficial for them, may I not do that. Yeah? And so that really, we can still, of course, have enthusiasm and lots of aspiration, but it cuts the clinging, that we so often have, that makes us anxious or angry if we can't do even the Dharma activities that we want to do. Yeah, because we do get anxious and angry, isn't it? Like, I'm going to do this retreat. Oh, there's an obstacle. I'm so mad. Right when I want to create virtue, there's this obstacle, and I can't do my retreat. Oh, no, yeah, this one happens, yes. When you have ordination fever, it's like, I want to ordain. I've got to ordain right now, immediately. Oh, I can't do it now. This is terrible. And then our mind gets so disturbed and everything like that. Whereas if we just have this attitude of, giving it away in some way, Like, of course, you want to ordain or do retreat or whatever it is for the benefit of sentient beings, but to cease the clinging to it. It's like, well, if this isn't beneficial, may it not happen. And then your mind just kind of relaxes. And then when there's hindrances, you can handle them. And you work with them and you overcome them and you can eventually do what it is. But you do it with a much more relaxed, peaceful mind.
And by having that kind of mind, then what does it create the causes and conditions to actually have it happen?
So by having that kind of relaxed mind, does it create the causes and conditions for it to actually happen? I would think so. Because the more you generate that mind of bodhicitta, the more it's creating the causes and conditions for those things. And there's always obstacles. So don't think just because there's obstacles, therefore I shouldn't do it. Yeah. So don't go to the other extreme of you've made this prayer and now there's obstacles, so okay, I won't do it. No, that's not what we're saying here. Obstacles are normal and natural. Of course, we're in samsara. What else do we expect? Okay? But we think like that to get rid of the clinging. And then when obstacles come, we deal with them, in a kind of relaxed way, with much more of a motivation to benefit sentient beings, because we see that as long as we're doing our Dharma activity with the self-centered thought, that's not going to get us anywhere. Okay? So thinking like this helps you change your motivation, but you still work to counteract the obstacles. Yeah?
I'd like to ask a question about something you taught days ago. You taught about how when something's happening that's not so great, you can go, yeah, wonderful, that karma is finishing. And I'm wondering how you developed conviction in that. And I think of it logically. Of course it seems that way, but I think that my emotional side just feels like, oh, this is always going to keep going this way. Like this illusion of permanence about,
Okay.
So I was wondering how you developed conviction.
Okay. So when, a few days ago, I was saying then when you have problems, say this is good because now that negative karma is ripening. And so how did I personally develop conviction in that? Because your mind goes to, well, there's an obstacle, there's a hindrance, it's always going to be there, there's nothing to do about it.
There's an emotional feeling. When I think of it logically, that all falls apart.
Yeah. Well, I think the way I worked with it is you keep thinking logically about it, and we use reasoning to show us that our emotional way of perceiving things is incorrect. Yeah, and that we shouldn't just give in to that emotional thing. And also, if you use reasoning to meditate on impermanence, then you see that an obstacle is also impermanent. Yeah. What, everything else is impermanent but obstacles are permanent? No, that doesn't make any sense. Obstacles are also impermanent. They arise due to causes and conditions, therefore they're going to change.
You just keep going after it.
Right, you just keep reminding yourself of what reality is.
Right.
And that will eventually overpower this crazy kind of emotional thing of, oh, well, there's an obstacle, so I'm doomed forever. Which is ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah?
Where is the relation between me, if for the benefit of sentient beings, may I get sick or what? And what is the other side of the karma that will happen anyway? Like that how do you relate, or am I creating a karma?
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're asking, like, if I say, if it's more beneficial for sentient beings for me to get sick or remain sick, may it happen in that way? Are you creating then the cause to remain sick? No, I don't think so. Okay. Because what you're doing is you're purifying your self-centeredness. So that's actually going to create some virtue in your mind, isn't it? Which, if anything, will heal your sickness. Okay? Yeah. But what you do by thinking in that way is then you relax your mind. And then you can see also, because let's say if you're sick and you're going, oh, I have to get better right away. I can't stand being sick and there's all these things I want to do and I'm tired of having this obstacle. And you're so anxious and tight and angry. Is that mental state conducive for your body getting well? No. If you relax about it and say, well, I'll just see it as better for sentient beings, I'm just going to see this as this is my Dharma practice right now, being sick. So it's the best thing for sentient beings. I will work with my mind being sick. And then you work with your mind being sick and you're relaxed about it. Is that mental state conducive for healing? Yes.
When you said that about praying, if it would be of benefit for people for me to be sick, I did that and I felt
Oh yeah.
anxious.
Right.
So that's the self-centered.
That's the self-centered thought, exactly. Exactly. When you make that kind of aspiration and then your mind goes, I don't think like that. That's the self-centered thought. That's how to identify it. Yeah. It's like when you're doing the taking and giving meditation and all of a sudden you go, but I don't really want to take there. This is just a visualization. I don't really want their problems and hassles and negative karma. That's the thing that you're trying to overcome by doing that meditation. Okay.
What was that story? I can't remember the details about the Lama who prayed to go to the hell realms, but as he was dying.
Yes, he saw the visions of going to the Pure Land instead.
Yeah.
Yes. So like that. Yeah.
But it was for the benefit of all.
Right.